that the Trump administration has really tried to point to as a success is the development of a vaccine. And certainly our scientists, our researchers deserve just enormous credit for getting that vaccine together so quickly. But now the challenge is to get that out the door, and we do need the government for that. And so far, those numbers are a lot lower than what they had promised. What's going on, and are you concerned about how this rollout is taking place?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, back in early October, Secretary Azar said 100 million doses out by the end of the year. Then that was revised to 40 million. Now we've been told 20 million people will get vaccinated by the end of the year. Well, the end of the year is 2 days away, and we're at 2 million. Now, my guess is we're actually a little higher than that because there's a reporting lag. We might be at 4, 5, 6 million, but we're not going to hit our 20 million target. The issue here is the federal government's done a very good job of setting up the infrastructure for getting these vaccines out to states, but there has been very little in the way of helping states get these vaccines into people's arms. States are really stretched. They've gotten very little money. The latest COVID relief bill finally gets some dollars to states, which will help. But states are mostly trying to figure this all out on their own. And 50 states figuring out vaccinations on their own. This is a repeat of testing, of PPE. At each step, the federal government just hasn't done its part in this partnership.
Doctor, I wanted to get you to elaborate a little bit more on this. We were so reminiscent of what we saw in March, where the federal government sort of deferred to the states and some of those vital medical equipment, PPE, ventilators, respirators, so on, and sort of washed their hands with it. So here you go. And then, therefore, that led to wildly varying abilities of the states to respond. And then, secondly, update on the vaccines themselves. There are 2, I believe, currently in use now. Where do things stand with the others? Because that was such a big part of Operation Warp Speed, was funding a bunch of candidates at once. So, therefore, and they could all trigger and get out there and flood the market. But when should we expect to see some others out to Americans?
Yeah, so 2 great questions. On the issue of the federal-state thing, look, we do have a federal form of government. We do want states to play an important role. States know a lot about their own populations, much better than the federal government does. That's all true. But the bottom line is, in a national crisis, we don't say to every state, hey, good luck, figure this out. When we got into World War II, President Roosevelt didn't say to every state, hey, make sure you've got to build up your own defenses and good luck to you. The federal government has a really important role here. They're not doing that on getting people vaccinated in a way that's necessary. On the issue of vaccine candidates, it's absolutely true that we made a bunch of bets. And the good news is 2 of them have paid off handsomely. And there are at least 3 that I expect between January and February will come online. Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca, both of them, I'm hopeful we'll hear about their results in January. And then Novavax, which just started their phase 3 trials. If things go well there, we could hear about theirs by February. So I think that part is actually working just fine. That part of Operation Warp Speed has been good. It's the getting it into people's arms that's been really tough.